So the theme this year is connecting with nature. So I'm going to take a different tack. Who's had a special experience walking in nature, being hiking, camping? Who's had a wonderful experience like that? Anyone? Someone want to share their experience just briefly? Someone want to share it? John, do you want to say something?
Anybody else?
I'll give you the next chance.
I'll share my experience. I just find going out hiking to nature is very rejuvenating experience. It's less intense in terms of you have to interact in the big city all the time. It's just good to decompress and enjoy that kind of
relaxing sort of lifestyle. It's very much so a treat, especially if you live in the center of city, and every now and then you could go walk to Victoria Park, out in the sun and sunbathe and just breathe in fresh air without, inhaling all that toxic pollution.
I think John wanted to say something, didn't you? Are you ready?
Is it right here? I can say a little one. I used to live in Nigeria for a few years. My husband was teaching there and I was working publishing. And it had been over a year I hadn't left, almost a year that I hadn't left. And I was sent to our local office for a meeting in London. And I went through Hyde Park, to go there. And I suddenly started crying. I couldn't understand why. I'm not a very, very emotional person in nature, but because I had so much missed autumn. I'd not seen the leaves, on the ground. I'd not seen the colors, yellow, blue, and yellow and green and dark red, and it's just so touching. And I actually heard myself say, "I missed you." I couldn't understand how could I speak to nature, but it is a very internal thing, I really felt such deep appreciation for the beauty of nature. It's because we take it for granted. I see it every autumn, but that year I hadn't seen it, and it touched me deeply. And whenever I have a problem, I like to go to nature. It's quite nice. Yeah,
Thank you very much for organizing this important World Environment Day, because I live near Richmond Park and I often go there, and it's so beautiful there. Anyone who has been there. And like Hyde Park and so on, Richmond Park is just perfect. Richmond Park is perfect. Now, at the moment, our environment on land and sea is under attack. It's really being destroyed at the moment. And I think the more awareness there is, it will help everyone to push these politicians to do something about it. And I'd just like to say we only have one world and we have to look after it.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So, actually, oops, it's in a bad place to start. I was going to go back. There we go. Actually, it's very interesting. A lot of you are from a younger generation than myself, which is great to see. But it shows the passion for the environment of a younger generation. And in a sense, there is a generational promise or a vow. Many things the older generation give to the next generation is, things like economy or life expectancy is getting better and better, health is getting better and better, so people expect to live healthier lives much longer. There are so many things that are passed on from one generation to another, but one very important one is the environment. And to pass on an environment which is sustainable, which will nurture and feed and support the healthy lifestyle of a future generation of our descendants. So this is also a very important aspect of human life, is that we pass on many different things, but the environment is an incredibly important one, because if we pollute it, it can take generations to sort it out. A word I never heard of before, euteria, can be an antidote to alienation from nature and society, but it's this connecting of people and nature. The human-nature relationship is spontaneous and mutually enriching, symbiotic. So when we have that state, then actually things can go very much in harmony. And there are many things that we don't know yet about the natural world that will support or nurture future generations. Let me see, I should go first. There we go. Everyone hear of George Washington Carver? Amazing man. Anyone hear of him? No, not so many. But this man lived in the early part of last century, but incredibly humble man, born into a slave family, but came out of slavery with that time after the American Civil War. It had many inspirations of innovations, of creations, of things that could solve problems in the society around him. So during the First World War, for example, there was a need to have a blue dye, which they didn't have to import to America because of U-boats and many other problems. So he found different ways of using crops and the things in nature around him to make a blue dye. He had many inventions about the common peanut. So he used the peanut for all kinds of different inventions. He was an amazing person who's remembered for a long time within, particularly botany, within the agriculture, scientific community. But one thing he used to do, and when he got a lot of his inspirations, was walk in nature in the early morning. He said he would imbibe from nature, in the quietness of the morning, many of the secrets. And I feel this aspect is there, waiting for the right people to find. Because people like him could do it, and I'm sure there are many other people who if they have that symbiotic relationship, then there are many secrets yet to find. Our movement has something called a Sunhag Peace Prize. This is co-founder, Mrs. Moon. She is presenting this award. This is the first inaugural one in 2015. They had another one also this year. But it's an award of up to $1 million, which was shared between two people. This is one, His Excellency Lam Tong from Kiribati. Kiribati is, I think, the first island that is supposed to be submerged by 2050. So he's been negotiating treaties with Fiji and with other islands to take the population of Kiribati. So he's become like an icon of the climate change movement. Another person who received the Sunhag Peace Prize was Dr. Vijay Gupta. I'm not going to try, but he received the World Food Prize also in 2005. Because he multiplied food resources by up to 400% by using blue water fishing. So he grew up in an area which was quite poor, and he could see fishing communities suffering from poverty. So he studied them in depth, and he learned about aquaculture. and particularly the kind of culture that you need to breed fish which could be sold and which could multiply food resources. So you used to breed sub-fish cultures that could be eaten by those fish. And by breeding in the right way, he brought fishing communities out of poverty. And some actually became very prosperous. The nice thing about him also is he's such a humble man. He would go and live in those communities, learn how they did things in a very humble way, work with them, helping them to change and to do better. So he was much loved by these communities. 60% of the women, 60% of the business owners were women, actually, who created very prosperous businesses. This is Father Wood is also a co-founder of the Universal Peace Federation. He was someone who also used to do a lot of fishing, and he noticed that a lot of the fish are not used many times when they're caught. Part of it is used, part of it is thrown away. So he developed a system to grind down the fish into fish powder. And then that fish powder was able to be sent to famines and to areas where there were drought. He also, like Washington Carver, had a very precious kind of relationship with the natural world. So he loved to go fishing, because when he was fishing, he could commune with nature. He felt also that it was very possible to pray and to have a precious experience with God on the water that he couldn't do so easily on land. So many times when there was difficult decisions to be made, he would go fishing, but he would also go fishing very early in the morning or until late at night. It was not like a holiday type fishing experience. Once we went fishing with him, and he said young people should come out fishing. The only one problem was that we take them out, and there's an acclimatization period where you have to overcome seasickness. So usually it's something like 1, 2, 3 days for most people. And the first 3 days are just awful. So people would come out onto the boat and then they'd have 1 day of experience and say, no, I'm not going to do this again. So unfortunately it didn't work. That one didn't work so well. But he said some very precious experiences, some very precious things about also connecting with nature. So spending time in the forest cleanses the mind. The sounds of leaves, the sound of the wind blowing through the reeds, sound of frogs croaking in the ponds. All you can hear are the sounds of nature. No extraneous thoughts enter the mind. If you empty your mind and receive nature into your entire being, then there's no separation between you and nature. Nature comes into you and you become completely one with nature. In that moment, the boundary between you and nature disappears, and you feel a profound sense of joy. Then nature becomes you, and you become nature. I've always treasured that experience in my life. Even now I close my eyes, and I can enter a state in which I'm one with nature. Some refer to that as like not-self or non-self. But to me it's more than that, because nature enters and settles into a place that has been made empty. While in that state, I listen to sounds that nature hands to me. The sounds of pine trees, the sounds of bugs. And we become friends. I could go to a village and know, without meeting anyone, the disposition of the mind of the people living there. I would go into one meadow of a village, spend the night there. Then I would learn what the people were like who lived there, whether they were sad or happy. And I would find out the kinds of people that live there. Even a small grain of sand contains the principles of the world. And a speck of dust floating in the air contains the harmony of the universe. Everything around us was given birth through a combination of forces so complex We cannot even imagine it. These forces are closely related to each other. Nothing in the universe was conceived outside the heart of God. The moment of just one leaf holds within it the breathing of the universe. So I think there's a way to connect to nature. You can do on many levels. This is definitely one level we've experienced. So having a sustainable life, I think, it depends on what priorities we have, on where we put our priorities, where we put our emphasis and our time and our effort. Ultimately, one slogan of UPF is, we're building humanity as one family under a loving God. Or if people don't believe in God, just building one human family. That in itself is revolutionary enough. Mm-hmm. To have the sense of humanity as one family. Therefore, we have a certain a familial responsibility to adopt the problems and the concerns of people of other parts of the world. The Paris Peace Accord, I think, was built, or Paris Climate Change Accord was built on that kind of premise, that the developed world would sacrifice some of its development to help those that haven't developed go a different path. Not go an easier and cheaper path, but to go a different path. This is one humanity. Humanity is one family under a loving God. In a sense, our ability to live sustainably is according to what kind of priorities we have. We put it on our physical things, which are the consumerism that we often prioritize. So we really put a lot of emphasis on building these things, having these things which make our life more comfortable. And there's no problem with that to a certain extent. We should have these things. We should have enough to eat. We should have enough to take care of ourselves, to keep a healthy life, an enjoyable and happy life. But if it's a priority, then things get out of balance. If our priority is here, building a life which is truthful, which is a beautiful life, which is something which lives in harmony with others, thinking of the needs of others, developing our talents for the sake of a better world or for others, then things fall into balance. And we can live a much better, happier, harmonious life. Also, our society gets influenced by us and the kind of lifestyle that we live. So this, in a sense, becomes a problem, particularly in the West or in other developed areas of the world, where we have to keep things into balance, or else more and more we have difficulties. There has developed problems of immorality and excessive self-centeredness. In a sense, the natural world is like a gift from God to humanity. You can see it in that way. Whether you consider it from that perspective as a gift from God, or whether you consider it in just something that we need to live responsibly with, the results are pretty much the same. We need to live in harmony with this world. But if we have this sense of building our character, it's more likely that there are more secrets that we can find from the natural world that we haven't found yet. I'd love to finish on this one because it actually summarizes many things. We've got into many problems. We've solved a lot of problems, but we still have a lot of problems in our society, our world. We can't solve the problems using the same kind of thinking. We have to raise our thinking, raise our consciousness. Then there are the answers there, whether they're from nature, by connecting to nature, or whether from each other, in dialogue, by understanding each other better. The solutions are there, but we just need to change our consciousness and our thinking. Thank you very much.